We know Mario Cristobal's calling card is recruiting. We also know that he's won a lot of games as a head coach, specifically at Oregon. Uh, Made it to 2 Pac-12 championship games, won a Rose Bowl, won plenty of games there. We also know that there is a certain knock against him as an in-game coach, whether that's both preparing the team for a big game and then being able to make those in-game adjustments and a combination of those things. So let's say we get 2 to 3 years down the road and you are overjoyed with everything Mario Cristobal has done as a program builder in every such way. And however, there are more than every coach is going to make mistakes. It doesn't go perfectly for anyone, regardless of how good they are as a tactician. But there are more than acceptable numbers of mistakes made and just trends of, bad second halves. Again, if it happens once or twice, okay, the team collapsed in the second half, you can make all sorts of assessments on what happened. But if it becomes like a regular thing, like, okay, they went 8-4 this year, and 3 of the 4 losses they had a lead at halftime and they blew it and they just got trounced in the second half. If you're seeing game management, game preparation, everything to do with on-field coaching not being what it should be and lagging behind everything else that is the role of a head coach in building the program. How do I put it? If everything you've seen to date continues, whether and I may be off in regards to your assessment of where he is as a game coach, do you think that there is going to be a place for some type of assistance there? Time management, game management, all of those things.
Well, absolutely. I mean, people self-evaluate no matter what. Now, being able to self-evaluate and then do something about it after you self-evaluate is a separate thing. Word has been out about him as far as an in-game coach and being boneheaded, and we saw that this previous year. Just punt the ball, just kick the ball. There's times where I feel like you might win a couple, you might be at a bowl if you just kick the damn ball a couple times. But of course, you have to be able to have with a coach that's so stern and strict in certain ways. You have to have someone that can look him in the eye and be honest with him and bring some of these things up and come up with a solution. Just complaining about something or bringing something up just to take jabs at somebody, it doesn't help you get anywhere. And I think that's why you have somebody like Alonzo Highsmith, who is our GM of football operations, where they are personal friends and they also understand business. And I think that it's a little different from Ed Reed, who was a chief of staff, which was supposed to be kind of in between the players and the coaches and being able to be like that uncle or like big brother that you can go to and complain about stuff and then can try to explain what coach means by saying this. And Highsmith is just all about talent acquisition, program and organization building, and so is Coach Cristobal. Now, when it comes to on the field game, you have to have somebody that's going to look him in the eye and say, "Man, you got to chill. You're overdoing it. Punt the football. Stop going for it on fourth down. Let the offensive coordinator be the offensive coordinator. Don't tell him to run the football. Run the football. Step away and let him coach. Let him do his thing. Let him build his chemistry. Let him get into a flow. These are kinds of things that we observe, and it's so easy to judge from the outside in. But there also comes a point where when you turn on the film, you continuously see something and certain scenarios happen. And then you see sometimes where you really see him trying not to be that guy and not to go there, but it's just who he is. An example would be Virginia, the Virginia game. Miami could have ended that in regulation if they took a shot to the end zone. But he knew his kicker was on fire, And instead of lose the game with a bonehead interception to one of the worst teams in college football, let's just keep running the ball. And wherever you want the ball at, Andy, kick it. Just like that. And that's the difference you saw in that as opposed to you saw against A&M when we're going for it on fourth down, or against Middle Tennessee State, or against North Carolina, where there were times where, man, just take 3 right there, and it's a different situation. Okay, it's a different outlook. So you saw him in certain instances trying, and I don't know if it was just because Coach Cristobal himself, or if somebody else is in that headset, or maybe Coach Mirabal, his best friend, is letting him know, man, just trust your players or trust your staff. And again, I don't know if you're asking would we call for his head if nothing changes. I don't know if that's where you were getting at with your
No, just
question.
more about help.
Yeah. And again, the way these things expand, there's grad assistants, there's student assistants, there's now general managers of college football. I mean, there's so many different. It's an army of people who all help. And I could see in a couple of years where you might have a coach that's literally designated to watch the clock. You might have a coach or a student assistant that's designated to say, going a timeout right here could throw off their flow. Hey, they've got 3 straight first downs. Let's call a timeout right here, coach. Now, whether he listens to them or not, that's probably their job. Just like, Mark, 10 years ago, there was no such thing as a get back coach. Now, a get back coach for the guys on the sideline has always been around, but a get back coach for the defensive coordinator that's damn near on the field trying to, and they got to pull them back, hand on the belt loop and pull them back. So there'll be times if people want to invest in the right things, and that's self-evaluation and growth of yourself, you're willing to look into those things and see how to get them fixed. Not just get them right, not just complain about it, but how to get them fixed.
I watched a video last night. I was actually watching this NFL playoff game. It was wild card weekend, and it was one of these deals where I'm doing 3 other things. So I'm watching the game, but I'm not watching every play and trying to process every game situation. I just have it on. And
Right.
I thought I saw what I saw, and then I actually saw a video posted by some NFL channel on YouTube about this situation. The Baltimore Ravens, in their loss to Cincinnati a couple weeks ago in the wild card game, they had the ball with 3 minutes and 19 seconds left on their final drive. An eternity. And they had timeouts. They had at least 2 timeouts. 3:19 on the clock. And they mismanaged that so badly that they were rushed for time at the, in the red zone.
Oh, yeah. That's my team, so I know I watched it. Mm-hmm.
I remember way back, this was about 15 years ago, I'm watching a Jets. Ironically, I think it was a Ravens game, but it was the Jets that with Herm Edwards. And, they had to score a touchdown maybe to win, and they crossed midfield. They crossed midfield with almost 5 minutes left in the game. And then within just a few more plays, I could tell, like, what are they doing? They're going to run. Like, they ran out of time. It was unbelievable. Like, it's almost impossible to try to do. And they still pulled it off.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we had times like that with Coach Cristobal too, where we're going in at halftime, and man, for some weird reason, we have all 3 timeouts. And maybe I just have been around different coaches, but I've always heard, in high school and in college, there was a basketball approach to, if you're carving up my defense, I'm not going to let you go straight down the field 8 of 8 for 79 yards and score a touchdown. I'm going to give a timeout in between it and say, DC, get it right. What's going on out here? There's times we're getting bombed over the top, and Cam Kinches is talking to somebody, and the corner ain't even looking at them. And Al Blaze is trying to talk to the linebacker, and they're not, and there's no communication. And they get to the sideline and sit down. They don't even talk to each other. They don't say nothing to each other. So again, Coach Cristobal will always be the face of it, and it will fall on him. But there's a lot of stuff that I think he could work on and get better One of the other things is he's known as like a QB ruiner, if that's a term, where quarterbacks go there and they have drop-offs under him. I think Justin Herbert had some of his best years under Coach Cristobal, but people want to say what they want to say. So, and the jury will always be out. Coach Cristobal can win a national championship next year. Somebody's going to have something to say. Or he went 5-7. Or he sucked at FIU. Or he didn't really build Oregon. Oregon was already built. He just came in after a bad season. They're always going to have something to say. The best thing you could do is keep winning, keep working, and keep building.